Hi, my name is Ariel. I am a piano teacher, and today I'm going to walk through a few basic steps someone can use if they're trying to learn to play by ear or you want to improvise a little bit. I'm going to assume that if you're watching this video, you have at least studied the basics of piano. You've gotten maybe to level 2 or 3 in your lesson books. You should definitely know what a scale is and know what basic chords are, like let's say the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord or 5/7 chord. If you know that, this lesson can be for you. So I'm going to start with a basic tune, something everyone will know. It's Twinkle Twinkle. And let's say you can take any tune, but let's say you take this tune, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And your goal is to just play the melody line. Let's start with that. So in the right hand, I'm going to start on middle C, and I'm going to play just the melody of Twinkle Twinkle. Once you can get the melody down for whatever tune you're trying to add chords to or improvise with, then you want to start adding your chords. So for this, in the key of C major, we're going to add our 1 chord, which is C, E, and G at the very beginning. Most songs, they'll start on the 1 chord. So that's an easy thing to think about when you're improvising or you're thinking, what do I put in my left hand for this? I'm just going to block the chords first. So I'm just going to play a very simple C major chord at the beginning. Then I'll change it to 4, then the 5 chord, and back to C. So it'll sound something like this. Five, 7, 1. That was just taking 1, 4, 5, 7, and back to 1. Now, let's say you can play your melody and you can add that left hand and just blocking your chords, and you want to do something else. Well, one thing that a lot of classical composers did, and even in the Baroque era, you'll hear what they call the Alberti bass. And it's basically taking the left hand and just playing it. Let's say you have your finger 5 on 1 or C, you would do 5, 1, 3, 1. That's like the fingering for the left hand, but it's basically a little thing. This actually kind of works with Twinkle Twinkle, so I'm going to add this Alberti bass, and it will sound like this. So let's say, okay, we can play it with blocking our chords, we can add an Alberti bass, and you're thinking, okay, what's something else I can do to make this melody line stand out or to add a variation? Now, if you listen to Mozart's theme and variations with this specific tune, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, you will, I actually love that piece that he did because it has so many options and it's a tune that everyone knows, and so it sounds like so much fun, and you should definitely study it if you haven't. But another thing you can do if you're taking a melody line, you want to just improvise and start learning to play by ear, you can take it up an octave. Using different registers in the piano, add variety. So I'm going to play the right hand up an octave, and instead of using the Alberti bass, I'll add an arpeggio. So I will start maybe the left hand with a lower C, and then I will play those same notes, C, E, and G, just in a different order. So like C, G, and E on the top maybe. So let's try this with moving our right hand up an octave and adding an arpeggio on the left hand. That's something very simple that you can just start playing around with and seeing how it works for you. The last tip, there's so many ways you can improvise a melody, so many tools you can use to add variety, but the last tip I'm going to give today is varying your melody line. So this is something where instead of just in your right hand playing the typical melody, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, you can just add maybe a scalar passage or run something interesting to the right hand to make it a little bit different. So with this, let's think, maybe something like that. So if we add the left hand, it will sound like this. So it's basically, it gives like the impression of Twinkle Twinkle without playing the exact notes of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And I just added a scale. I just did a little turn and here we go. So these are different tools you can use. If you want to learn to play by ear, you don't know where to start with figuring out what the melody is, then just add the basic chords, block your chords out. Once you know those notes to the chords, you can add an Alberti bass, or you can add an arpeggio, or you can vary the right hand up an octave, change your register. These are different tools you can use. If you want to learn to play by ear and you want to learn to improvise, I would say start here.